Hello everyone, this is Indigo Sears here. I had wanted to do a pick a card reading for you guys because we have some powerful energies coming up and I really want those that will watch this video to have an opportunity to really wrap up any life lessons in that so that way you don't continue repeating them. I know I've had to go through it myself and it just feels better knowing that you're going on to that next chapter without all that other baggage, so to speak. So why is this such an important time? Well, the thing is that we are having a full moon tomorrow for July 4th, as well as it is going to be a lunar eclipse. So think back to end of May, towards the end of May and maybe things that have been coming up in your life between then and now. There might have been a lot of core issues within you that are kind of getting triggered, so to speak, or those repeated patterns. You're like, I thought I was over this. What the hell is going on here? So those things are kind of coming up. And the reason why they are coming up is because this is the opportunity for you to fully purge them from yourself. So that way you can move on to that next chapter without carrying those baggage, so to speak. And you don't have to keep repeating those same patterns over and over again. And you're having it come up again 5 down years the road. And you're like, what the hell is this, right? So that is why I wanted to do a pick a card reading. I have 3 piles here. And I have a red carnelian heart, an amethyst tower, isn't that gorgeous? And then a labradorite palm. Okay. So for a pick a card reading, what you do is you clear your mind and you use your intuition for what pile has the messages that I need to hear. And either wait for either a number to come into your mind, 1, 2, or 3, or maybe the color or the type of stone, or even with these ones that I have, the type of shape. So you could have red carnelian or red, purple or amethyst, labradorite, and I don't know, labs are, you know what they are, they're shiny and can be purple or blue flash, different things. So, and that's a palm, a tower, and a heart. So if you need a time, go ahead and pause the video, kind of ground and center or clear your mind and ask again, what pile has the messages that I need to hear for this upcoming eclipse and full moon? And then listen to that pile. I'll have timestamps listed below so you can fast forward to it so you don't have to listen to the whole thing. Okay. So, all right, beginning now for pile number 1 or the red carnelian. All right. I chose from several different decks. So let's see here. You actually have, this is from my Halloween deck. So you actually have Dawn, okay? And it's got an owl on there and it says the light after darkness. So what that means to me is that definitely within this time between the 2 eclipses is you've definitely had some SHIT come up, right? And it's twofold, I want to say, is it gives me that kind of like Phoenix energy type of thing where, you know, you're rising up from the ashes, so to speak. But most of all too is it's like you're kind of transcending, or you were above the BS that was happening. Whereas maybe in the past you would have gotten involved in it, you know, like if maybe a friend called you up and was like, hey girl, you won't believe what happened, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, you know, I'm good. Or you might be half involved, whereas before you're like, yeah, because you still want to be a good friend, right? And listen, but you're not becoming over involved, like, oh my God, he did what type of thing, right? So you're kind of transcending that BS. You are, in a sense, protecting your own energy. And because where in the past you would have gotten over involved and maybe your energy would be drained from that and you'd spend a lot of time thinking about that type of stuff, so to speak. Or it could even be in relationships, right? Setting those boundaries within relationships. And so it's just really letting me know that this time between these eclipses was a time for you to be tested, so to speak. And did you apply the ability to set those boundaries and protect your energy within that time period or not? Okay. Those are like my kicker cards that probably will summarize everything else that these other cards will say. So then I also drew some tarot cards here. All right, so this would be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the ones that you have are the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun of Wands reversed, and the Father of Cups reversed. Okay, so what this lets me know is that with the Wheel of Fortune is, as long as you went through this lesson of setting those boundaries and protecting your energy, is you can reach out and essentially spin that Wheel of Fortune. You've learned that lesson, and so that clears a lot of space so your energy can go into other areas of your life that are much needed at this point in time, or for other areas that you've been wanting to have that energy go into, so to speak. All right. With the Son of Wands reversed, though, is letting me know is at the core of it, though, even though you've been able to set those boundaries and that with individuals in your life, or you were able to, if you were able to be tested and come out on top, right, so to speak, is that there's still a part of you that doesn't feel as connected, right? Because you're keeping your energy in, and maybe that friendship doesn't feel the same because you weren't, and and your friend can tell that too, or that other individual that you were involved with can tell when you've changed your energy, or you're protecting it, or you're drawing it in, so to speak, right? So you might be feeling kind of like a disconnect between those relationships, right? But the Fatherhood of Cups is letting me know is that what the Father of Cups is cups represent for about emotions, okay? And so for the Father of Cups is really letting me know that you will still come out on top. You'll be able to be in charge of your emotions and that energy, because again, you have that energy inside of you. So now figure out what important areas or priorities you want that energy to go to. Okay, instead of letting that energy be like, oh, you know what, I really want to reconnect with them, or maybe this once I'll just do that, right? And then you open up that energy, and that energy exchange starts happening with those individuals who just end up draining you, or you end up putting a lot of that energy into those situations and people, okay? But you need to keep it for yourself, okay? So the next cards that I have are from my Energy Oracle deck, which is Patience and Attachment reversed, okay? So what these tell me then, okay, as far as for energy, is to be patient with yourself and be patient with this process, which, oh God, I know that is so tough, right? Patience, right? I think, what was it on Facebook post? I was like, can I just overnight express this, or, order 1 to 3 day shipping, please? Can we just move forward to the next chapter instead of having me wait? I am done. But patience is a virtue, or so they say. So have patience with yourself and with those individuals, okay? With the attachment reverse lets me know, obviously, it's the opposite of that. So that's detachment. So again, the energies around you is that you are starting to detach from unhealthy relationships. And the patience with that is, it's like, as I was saying and speaking about that, it was like I was the example that I'm getting, okay, is I fully believe that people come into our lives for a certain reason, right? All the relationships that we have always can teach us something. When a relationship ends or it serves its purpose, it's like, okay, what did I overall learn from this lesson? Whether it's a romantic or friendship or family or any type of relationship like that, right? So, and then once that relationship has essentially served its life purpose, it's between you and that individual on whether or not you want to like officially separate ways, or do you want to maintain friends, or exactly how is that relationship going to look now going forward. So what I was getting, reason for the lawn explanation is the reason for the lawn explanation for the Patience card is because if you want to still have certain individuals in your life, have patience with yourself and them to kind of work out, okay, I don't really want to gossip and talk, or I'm setting these boundaries between us and that in regards to a relationship, like I just want to be friends. So have that patience with yourself and that individual in regards to redefining what that relationship is. And again, don't become over invested with that, and continue to set those boundaries with those individuals. So again, that detachment, free yourself from that, okay? So life lesson, life purpose, I got 3 cards here. What I have here is 3 cards from the Life Purpose, Life Path deck that are reversed. We have the Rescue card, which is reversed. the magic stream card, which is reversed, and the sacred pool card, which is reversed. And one thing to note within these cards is, if you notice, is they all have water within them. So there's a waterfall, there's another waterfall, and there's like, she's in a pool. I know it's hard to see because of my light, but she's in a pool of water. So what these tell me is that the lesson to learn or to let go of in regards to moving forward, and that the chapter that you want to close in your life so you don't move forward with it, is it's like I'm getting several different things because I know different people are tuning into this. One is one of that I'm getting is controlling your emotions, because water is again about emotions and having the flow of things, okay? And not becoming over involved, right? It's like I'm seeing, you know, the steady stream or a gushing geyser, whatever. All right. So it's slowing that down, slowing those emotions down, slowing your reaction to things. I guess I am getting more about the magic stream and the sacred pool card. The magic stream is about going with the flow of life and realizing like how one action will lead into another. And so with that being reversed is letting me know that, like, in the past, again, kind of what we already talked about, is that, you know, you would end up flowing and putting your energy out into there, and instead now you put up a beaver dam, so to speak, right? And quit letting that energy or that water flow to those other situations, right? Which in this situation is good for you, right? And then the sacred pool is letting me know that it's okay for you, and it would be beneficial for you to take some time to yourself. Again, it really is tying it back to that patience card about really reevaluating, what do you want in your life? Where do you want all this extra energy now to go? Is it to your career? Is it to family members? Is it to a romantic relationship? Is it into yourself for like your personal growth in that? Because you have all this extra energy now and you're feeling bad of like, okay, I have this extra energy, what do I kind of do, right? And it's not like you're bouncing, you know, like anything, but you have this extra energy and you want to connect. So where can you put that energy? Take that time and slow down. Give yourself that space to really figure that out. And again, have that patience with yourself, because it's going to take some time before you kind of start feeling a new normal, is what I'm hearing. And then I also pulled a couple cards in regards to past lives. Interesting kind of stuff. I haven't worked with this deck too much, but I figured it'd be interesting, especially for when we're talking about letting stuff go. Is there something deeper in regards to these, maybe from a past life that you're kind of carrying over and that we want to get rid of, right? So the first card we have is Unrequited Love and Wars and Battles. So what this lets me know is that maybe perhaps for some individuals that may be watching this, because again, this is a general reading, is that for some of you specifically, when I was talking about for individuals, maybe specifically with a romantic relationship, or even it could even possibly be a friend that you have in this lifetime that you just feel really close to, right? You guys may have been lovers in a past life. And what this lets me know is that that individual, or maybe even you, one of you in the relationship, ended up having to go to war, right? And that unrequited love means to me is that that person went to war or to that battle, and sorry, this is really sad actually, is they never came back, and yet you held on to that hope and that desire that, no, my love is going to come back to me, they're okay, and you actually ended up living your life alone, which is really, really sad. And why is that so important, and how does that tie in with this story, right? So how it ties in with what to let go is specifically, even if it's like one person that you're thinking of, okay, is to understand, why am I always feeling this pull to be with them, right? Even though you know that it may be unhealthy for you, or there's unhealthy stuff going on in the relationship, or again, you're putting too much energy into it, is because from this past life, you're afraid that they're going to go away. You're afraid that they're going to go away and they're not going to come back. And in this life, you're like, oh my God, I have you. I want to be with you. I've waited so long, so many lifetimes to be with you again. I just need you in my space, right? But so that's why it's even so much more difficult in setting those boundaries with them. You know, again, it's the light after the darkness. You were alone for so long. It's like, I need you here. I want to be with you. But it's something from a past life. And that's why it's so important to understand that and let that go. Is in this life, your guys's roles, so to speak, are different. And this is an opportunity for you and your soul to let that hopefulness go, that desire to be with that person go, because you may, I mean, I sense even too, is that some of you may even have, even though you have that pull towards them, is that, what is the word? Not regret. I can't think of the word exactly right now, but besides that hopefulness and desire, you may have like this almost underlying sense of anger, right? Even though this was probably out of their control, right? Is on some level, because you spent your life alone, is you're like, how dare they leave me and not come back at all? Like, or why couldn't anybody have told me about this? Or wouldn't they have put me down as the next of kin to be notified if they died, or what's happening? And you might have that underlying anger because you never got that answer. And instead you spent your entire life during that life hoping and waiting for them, and they didn't show up. There might be regret and guilt because you maybe had other suitors come along and all that kind of stuff, or what was I was stupid to do that. Again, there was a life lesson within that as well. Again, that's a huge patience, right? That could even be tied to that, but it's about letting that go, because, and realizing that your guys' roles in this life are different. Okay. So I hope that was helpful to you guys. If you want to book a personal reading with me, I am taking personal readings as well. Feel free to message me or email me and we can definitely set that up. So pile number 2, or the amethyst. All right. I pulled from several different decks here. So the first card that you have, this is interesting. Okay. Is this is from my Halloween deck. It's the Skull of Flowers, which is creating through the ashes. Okay. So this is kind of going to be your overall theme. So what I get from this is that it's like I hear a rise of creativity, right? Is that it's like when I tune into your guys' energy, like I feel like this overabundance of like, I need to do stuff, right? Type of thing. And maybe you started re-exploring past hobbies or something that you've always wanted to do that expanded your creativity, so to speak. I'm going to actually read from the book a little bit because I think I'm getting like there's a specific line in here that you guys need to hear. Skull of Flowers. Okay. Illustrates that there is a sureness and yet a rawness to creating again, to starting afresh. Sometimes the universe gives us a blank slate to work from so we can build what we really want rather than just settling for less. I had actually done a mini reading for myself a couple weeks ago because definitely there's been some stuff hitting me between these two eclipses. And that's probably why I needed to read this to you guys, is because this line is what stuck out to me so much. Let me read that again. Sometimes the universe gives us a blank slate, okay, to work from. For me, some stuff that was going on in my life was torn away, kind of thing. It felt like that anyways, like very much the Tower card. It was just ripped out from underneath me. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on here, right? Type of thing. But the beautiful thing about that though is, and I know this sounds so cliche, right? Is that the universe was taking something away so I could put my energy into other areas of my life. And there's some stuff going on, and I'm very excited about it. But, you know, it's so we can build what we really want rather than just settling for less. Like, so those options or whatever it was in your life, like maybe it was a career, maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was a house, maybe whatever it may have been, right? You were working towards it, or you were spending time with those individuals, and then all of a sudden it was just ripped out from you, right? Or it felt like that anyways. Or you're like, okay, well, why did that house go through? You know, why did that job not call me back? Why did that promotion not happen? Why did things go, you know, like things just seem to come at a stop or a hilt, right? The beautiful thing about that then is to take a step back and be like, was I settling? Is that really deep down in my core what I wanted, type of thing, right? So when you think about that, it's really, really beautiful. And then it does say the skull flower celebrates not just a kind of phoenix energy, but an energy of success and full bloom through adversity. Okay, so just know about that. All right, so then you guys have 2 tarot cards, which is about the Emperor, establishment reversed, and the Fool, new beginnings. I am laughing because this is what I love about doing readings, especially from different decks, is if there's a theme or something to say, is it comes through a lot of different decks. What this is essentially saying is, okay, if this was this right, it was about talking about structure and the way things go type of thing. And, you know, he's the ruler of the roost and all that kind of stuff. And he's got his kingdom and things are going the way that they're supposed to be going type of thing, right? And there's rules and traditions in that. But with it being reversed, is letting me know that those rules and traditions in that have kind of been turned upside down, obviously. And you thought things were going in a certain way, and that, like, the example that I'm getting is, you know, with being the emperor is, you know, you think of like a king or an emperor like back in the day, and they send their troops into a certain town or going to conquer a city, right? And they're so sure of it. They're like, yeah, this is going to happen. We've been so successful in the past. There's no way we're going to fail. And then they effing fail, right? And you're like, what the hell type of thing, right? So anyways, the other beautiful thing about this then, again, with referring back to this card, is about starting anew. There's a new journey for you to start on. There's a next new chapter for you to discover and set forth on, which is really beautiful. But you just need to take that first step instead of, okay, we'll see what the rest of the cards say. I have these energy cards, which is the garden and the gate reversed, and the goddess of the moon. So what these 2 cards mean is the garden and the gate is about, okay, if it was this way, it would be about, you know, a girl, or you're tending to things in your kingdom. Again, it really refers back to this one too, this emperor energy, right? Is that you're taking care of your garden and you got your flowers and you're watering them and you're taking care of them, all that kind of stuff. But as you can see, there's a gate, right? And there's all this land outside beyond the gate, so to speak, right? Again, that Fool card energy, there's stuff beyond the gate. But with it being reversed is letting me know that it's time for you to go beyond that gate. It's time for you to get out of your garden and to go on to that next chapter. It's time for you to, oh my God, this is so cliche with it. Move on to greener pastures, so to speak. You know what it is. Oh my God, that is, this is not my spirit guide or anything like that, but there's definitely somebody's spirit guide here, and they're so bubbly and happy, and they don't mind being cliche type of thing. Like, you know what I'm talking about when I say like, girl, you need to move on, right? Oh dear. Okay. Goddess of the Moon card represents about 4. All right, I need to stay connected. Just take a step back, please. Okay. Thank you. All right, so Goddess of the Moon card is about that intuition and being in, okay. So then you're like, what this card represents then is, okay, so you're like, okay, Indigo, yeah, that's great. I have gotten essentially some stuff pulled away from me, or some things in my life didn't go as I expected. And, you know, I do want to start my next chapter, but what is that next chapter, or where is that next chapter at, or what do I do, type of thing. And what this is saying is, Goddess of the Moon, especially with the full moon coming up, is setting that intention of use your intuition is what it's basically saying. And if you do any like moon work or anything like that, or even if you don't, I mean, you can even just, it's like I can even see some of you just sitting down with like a pen and paper and just kind of even mentally going through this, right, type of thing, like making a list, again, about personal growth type of thing, right, especially with the full moon, is what is it in your life, I mean, I'm probably even going to do this, is what is it in your life that you want to officially close the chapter on for in between these two eclipses, so you can move on to your next chapter of life? What is it that you don't want to repeat anymore? What is it within this garden that is keeping you here within this garden? What repeated patterns is there? Is there a specific person? Is it a specific pattern? Is it like a specific underlying feeling? Like, what is it that's keeping you in that garden? Because right now you need to get out of that garden. And in order to get out of that garden is you need to tune into your intuition and work through that stuff. Okay? Just telling it like it is. I don't mean to get so aggressive, but I get very passionate about it. And these messages are coming through very strongly. So, life path, life purpose is, okay, slow and steady. The Strength card reversed. And the Spirit of Place reversed. Okay. So, what these cards represent is, after the eclipse, is if you do this type of work, right, for yourself, and you're like, okay, this is a pattern, or this person I don't want to let go of, and you do that work, right, you're going to be like, okay, I'm ready for my next chapter. Where is it, right, type of thing. It's not going to happen that quickly. As much as we want it to, it's not going to. And that's why there's this card of the slow and steady, which, you know, as you can see too, there's like a shell here, which reminds me of like a snail. So continue to, again, referring back to this Fool card, is take those first steps, take those first baby steps towards whatever it is that you felt you needed to let go with this new moon energy, or full moon energy, sorry, with this full moon energy and eclipse. Take those baby steps and stick with it, because what I'm getting is that these have been long held patterns, or this person you have been involved with for a very long time, and you may have ties and connections and stuff, is it's going to take some time to really figure out, how is this going to look, or how can I still let go of that while moving forward into my new chapter. You know, for me specifically, is one thing that I did is there's these things that we call cords between individuals, right? Is like, you know, you have etheric cords that happen between you and best friends, or you and family members, or you and, you know, significant others, and even like you might still have a cord attached with a boyfriend that you had in high school, type of thing, right? Or just people that you end up connecting with. It could be a coworker and that. But sometimes those cords, especially when those relationships have ended and they're still attached to you, can end up draining your energy. And so that's why it's really important for you to cut those cords, or to clean them, so to speak. And I've been really aware, or been really on top of, and again, it's slow and steady, is that there's certain individuals that I feel try to reach out and try to reconnect with me. And then there's individuals that I find myself reaching out and to reconnect with, right? And it's about me being consistent in protecting my energy and not letting those cords reattach. Like, after I did that, what was it? No more than like 5, like just yesterday, okay? I did that. I did the full cord cutting, I think on like Sunday, right? Yesterday, an ex of mine from like four years ago ended up emailing me out of the blue, right? Because he was just thinking about me. And I'm like, wow, that is so funny. Like, I connected and we exchanged, and then I cut the cord again. I'm like, nope. Our relationship has served its purpose in that, and I'm not staying connected with you. So reason I share that is because, so take it slow and steady. It's something like that, where you might have to consistently do that, or kind of be ever vigilant on top of it, right? So that way you maintain that behavior or that boundary with whatever, again, this is for you. Because again, this is a general reading. It could be anything. I mean, if you wanted to do a more in-depth reading personally, you can let me know and we can dive into that. But so with these two cards next to it, let me know, is the Strength Reversed and the Spirit of Place. So Strength Reversed, that one is really letting, for me, this card this way represents kind of like about that motherly energy and having that strength. As you can see, like there's a lot of green and there's like something that kind of represents about the world, and it's all like loving and everything. And so it's about nurturing yourself in the meantime, right? So you're being consistent and nurturing yourself in that meantime. And it's just about, and I want to say this too, is that at least it's going to take you through the summer months, okay? You're not really going to fully see anything going much further into your next chapter until possibly fall. And the reason I say that is because look at the fall leaves on this card, and then there's some fall leaves right here, right? And it's almost kind of going from summer to fall type of energy. So either that, or, you know, maybe there is some energy freed up, so there is some other stuff moving forward in regards to stuff in your life, right? But maybe you don't have to be as ever vigilant on those type of things, because it'll become second nature by fall, right? It'll just be something that you'll automatically do, whatever that is. Like with mine, whoever I end up connecting with, after I'm done connecting with them, I'm just automatically going to cord cut. It's not like I have to be consciously aware of that. The example that I have for that is, you know, behaviors are learned, right? And so you've been going about doing behaviors a certain way, such as like driving a stick shift, right? At first you have to be ever vigilant and being aware, okay, I got to push the pedal in, I got to push this forward, I got to pull this back, I got to do this, right? You got to be consciously aware and telling your brain of like what you need to do. But after a few weeks or a few hours, depending on your learning style, probably, it'll become second nature. You won't have to think about it. It'll just be, you just do it. Same thing with this. So just take it slow and steady. Don't get frustrated with the process, and don't be like, whatever, I'll just go back to it. Or I'm too tired, I'm not going to cord cut right now. Or, they're calling me, even though I told myself I wasn't going to talk to them anymore, I'll answer it. You know, again, be consistent with whatever it is that you wanted to let go, and it'll pay off in the end. Or at least in the fall, you can figure out where that stands. All right. So what I thought would be interesting is I pulled some cards as well from my past life deck to see if there's any other like past life stuff that's kind of tied in with what you may have to let go of. All right. So what I got from is spirituality and religion and trust and faith. Okay. So what's really beautiful about those is letting me know that it's really beautiful. Is that this is a skill that you have from a past life. I say that because, you know, it reminds me of those individuals that have devoted themselves to a certain spirituality, right? Or you think like trust in God type of thing, or you think of maybe some of you have even been cardinals or pastors or nuns in a past life or something, but you were very involved in your spirituality, and you were very much trusting in God or the higher source or whatever religion it was at that point in time, right? For you. And so having that trust in that process and trust in the universe is a skill that you have. You're just reactivating it. So it's not anything, which is really cool, because then it's not about a past life thing for you to really let go of. It's a past life thing for you to remember, which is, oh, that's beautiful. I love that. So I hope that reading was helpful for you guys, and you were able to get some information as far as for knowing what to let go of, or, you know, activating obviously a past skill that you have. So thank you. All right, pile number 3 for the labradorite. You guys, this is going to be an interesting reading, because almost every single pile of cards that I pulled from for the other piles, you guys got like an extra card for each and every one. And plus, when I was putting them down, I got a message for you that I automatically wrote, okay? Because I do automatic writing as well. I'm going to just kind of show it right here, but so to show and prove that I have it, save it for the end though, for whatever reason. Okay, so we will move forward with the reading. So, what you guys have for your Halloween deck cards, because I think this is like an overall theme to identify what you guys have been going through between these two eclipses, is invisibility, also known as authenticity, and graveyard unnecessary fear. Okay, so with these two cards together, I would have to say is that it's like I'm even sensing it now too, is there's a lot of anxiety and fear in regards to decisions that you've made in your life, and you're wondering, am I really being authentic to myself? Is this what I really want? Is this the right path for me? Like, you're overthinking of it and you're fearful of it because it's like I see all sorts of different paths, like, you know, or like a river, and you see how they all kind of go off into different things, right? And it's just, you're overthinking things, and you're like, how do I be authentic to myself then? If I go with this or if I go with that, like, your brain is on overdrive, so to speak. I'm going to read from invisibility. I've never actually had either of these cards come up before. We are all born to shine our light out into the world and to take our roles, hiding our talents, not expressing our true selves, stealing others' ideas, or work in being someone else rather than your authentic self are all aspects to consider should this card appear in your reading. So, since this is a general reading, I would say that definitely kind of figure out which one fits best for you. Is it hiding a talent? You know, is there something that you're really good at and you're feeling like, oh, I need to get this out there? Or people have said like, wow, you're really good at that. You should get out there, or you should publish that, or you should, you know, put something up on YouTube or whatever it might be. You're like, oh, no, I don't want to, you know. Is it something like that? Is that you're keeping it to yourself, right? Or maybe not expressing your true selves, which that can mean about for in relationships, in that whether they're family, friends, or romantic, is there are parts of yourself that you are like really super compromising. Like, I get within relationships, sometimes we have to compromise and talk things through, right? But at the end of that conversation, do you feel that your true self had been expressed, right? Because you can still agree to disagree or still go with that other person, but as long as you feel that your voice was heard or you let yourself speak, you can at least have some comfort in that, right? So again, expressing your true self. Stealing others' ideas or work, that is obviously not being authentic because you're presenting it as your own when it's not, type of thing. And you're gaining the glory and the success from it when it should be for somebody else. And being someone else rather than your authentic self. So that one is definitely, it's like I see, you know, the typical mask, you know, when you're with your friends, are you a certain person? When you're with your significant other, are you a certain person? But when you're alone by yourself, are you a certain person, type of thing? Or are you the same in situations or at the core of it? Because I mean, I know there's obviously can be slight differences, because I'm going to act a different way at work than when I'm at home with my friends, or at home, you know, out with my friends, or at home with my family, right? You're going to act a little differently just because of social norms and all that kind of stuff. But at the core of it, within all three of those, I'm still my core authentic self. Like, I'm still going to be upfront. I'm still going to be open. I'm going to, you know, be loyal and all that kind of stuff, right? Or is it that you're totally different in each one of those situations? Then you're not being your true authentic self. So which is it for you that you've been kind of going through within this eclipse period of time? And whichever one those are is where you're starting to maybe kind of spin on those things. Like, is it you're hitting talent? Like, you might be thinking, well, am I wasting my talent? Should I be going out there and doing this? Is this really the right choice for me? It feels really odd in that I think I'm going to stay home and just maybe play my guitar or drums at home. I don't want it to go out. I'm afraid, type of thing. You know, like, I mean, or we're not good enough, or I'm not good enough to do this, or nobody's going to like my stuff, nobody's going to read it, or you know what, if I put it out there, there's only going to be the haters that are going to comment on it, type of thing, right? You don't let that fear block you from being your authentic self. Boom, that's what they wanted me to say. Don't let the fear block you from being your authentic self, whatever that may be. Okay, tarot cards you have are is Aeon, Rebirth, Daughter of Wands, Luxury, and Justice, which is about balance, and all of them are upright. Aeon, Rebirth is about, again, some of that Phoenix energy type of thing, and really balancing those emotions and actions, right? So again, referring kind of back to this is what I'm getting, right? Because you have these actions that you're doing, not being your authentic self, and you have these thoughts of fear and that of what's that's blocking you, right? And the reason I say that is because if you look at this, here's like little teardrops or rain, right? And blue representing water. And then there's fire drops here and red for like lava or whatever, which to me represents water is about the emotion, and fire, which is like wand energy, represents for action and passions, right? And both of them are there. So it's about that balance. And there's like this baby in a womb. Okay. And it's about being reborn. Okay. So you need to get control of your thoughts. And I know that's easier said than done, or get past that fear, because that's the only way that you're going to grow and move on. And if you are able to do that, look at this card. This card is beautiful. What it is, it's the Daughter of Wands, which is also the Page of Wands, which is about that fire and action and passion, is moving forward with that. And you will be so much more happier because you're making steps and you're living your authentic self then. And isn't that beautiful? And this Justice card is, I think that's going to refer back to, I'll touch back on that one because I'm getting that refers back. I did pull some past life cards, and that they're saying ties in with the past life cards. So I'm going to wait to further explain that one. Okay, so, all right, for energy surrounding you at this point in time, okay, these are energy cards surrounding you. Okay, so we got Journey card, all tied up, and Walking Away reversed. To me, this really represents about that, again, the overall theme of sorry, it's hot up here, from the Halloween deck that I pulled. The Journey card is, again, similar to like the Fool card energy. It's about packing up your bags and moving on to the next step, getting that chance to get reborn into something else. So going on to this next chapter of your life. That's what this card is about kind of like new beginnings and going out on, you may not know where this bridge and this road is going, but you just know you need to go, right? Type of thing. But the energies surrounding you are these two cards, which is the All Tied Up card and the Walking Away reversed. I think those really much refer back to this graveyard unnecessary fear type thing, okay? Ooh, what I'm also getting with the graveyard representation is that the reason why you have so much fear possibly is because you either tried whatever it was in the past and it didn't work, right? So then you have those thoughts of like, well, I already tried this before and this is what happened, and who's to say that's not going to happen again? Or you saw somebody really close to you try something similar and you're like, well, that happened, they did that and that didn't turn out so well for them. What makes me think that it's going to turn out well for me? These are about your thoughts that are holding you back, okay? This is about that haunting of those thoughts, so to speak. You even revisit them, and you might replay those situations back in your head, which is further making you feel helpless and tied up and like you can't move on. Like, again, being your authentic self, you might replay. Wow, this is why you guys had so many cards. Okay, is you might replay some of those scenarios in your head of like, why didn't I say this during that argument? Or why did I not do this? Like, again, it's like the graveyard, right? Is you have all these memories and all of these hidden talents or whatever, right? And you go back and you visit them and you pay homage to them, so to speak, right? You go to that graveyard of it, and you're like, well, I missed this opportunity and this, and I missed that opportunity. I deserve what I got, type of thing. Or you are so in your head and you get so wrapped up in the past and thinking about things that you're all tied up and you're not moving anywhere. You're not moving on to this. You're not moving on to that journey and getting reborn. You're not moving on to that next chapter. You're getting stuck is what you are. I'm going to move on to these next ones. Okay. All right. These are about life path, life purpose. And you guys, again, you guys got a lot more than the other piles did. So the first one that you got was home. One ring circus. Making a choice reversed. And wishing well reversed. All right. So I feel that these are kind of divided up into two energies. All right. Or life path, life purpose. Is that right now at this point in time is you've been going on your way of whatever this, I don't want to say authenticity, but you're going on your life path, right? And the thing is that right now at this point in time, like things are feeling pretty comfortable, right? Because you have your home here. And this one ring circus is like, you are in charge, like the, not conductor, what is he called? The ringmaster, right? He's in charge of what's going on in the ring and the other rings. And so you're in charge of your domain, so to speak. Uh-oh, cards fell. In your home. And that feels really comfortable because you're in charge of it. But it's like when I was reading these off, and that is you're staying within that space then. Again, though, you need to go out and put yourself out there type of thing. And that lets me know about these. Again, I think these refer back to those all tied up, walking away in a graveyard, right? Is you've twofold for making a choice reversed, right? Is either you are being presented with a choice, whatever that may be, right? The authenticity. Maybe you could, you can continue to go on the path that you are right now and staying in your home safe domain and playing your drums or playing your guitar or painting your pictures, writing your novel, but letting it stay within there. Or you have the option of putting that out there and sharing it with the world, right? And being your authentic self. Or you have the continuation to not speak your truth. Or you can speak your truth, right? Those are options. But with it being reversed right now is letting me know that you would rather just kind of retreat and stay in your own energy type of thing. Like, again, getting caught up in those thoughts, right? Because at least this area, this domain you have control over. If you put yourself out there, you're taking a risk because you don't know how people are going to react to it, right? You might think of it one way, but it doesn't end up happening. And again, then you get stuck in that thought like, well, I've done that before and this has happened, all that kind of stuff, right? That was a different time and different people. The society has changed so much, or maybe it was just not the right medium type of thing. Maybe you're supposed to do it on YouTube, or maybe you're supposed to do a blog or something. I don't know what it is. Maybe you need to set that boundary, or maybe you need to connect with different individuals. I also hear the word regret as well. Is that another reason why you may be feeling stuck and feeling like you're treating home back more and having these fears is because you made a choice and you're thinking, God, I effed up. I effed up. I made a poor choice. I made the wrong choice. Did I make the wrong choice? Did I really? I'm going to go forward with it anyways and see it through and see what happens type of thing, right? Because I made that choice. I made those steps. I need to go on that. But then yet you're feeling tied up and you're not walking away from it. You made a choice. Some of you made a choice and you've already realized that it's keeping me from my authentic self. Like, this is not right for me. Your intuition is telling you that this isn't right for me, but yet you're not walking away from it. you need to let that go, because it's only going to hold you back. And you're having that unnecessary fear of like, well, no, I'm just, I can't go back to the other choice. The other door has already been closed or whatever. Or, I mean, who's to say? Did you even try? Try knocking on that other door? Even though the door might be closed, there's still a doorknob, right? You can try knocking on it, type of thing. See if it's still open. Maybe there's a window instead, or maybe there's a different door. I don't know. But then this wishing well card is letting me know that there's something that you guys have wanted within your life, right? You want to share your story with the world. You want to share your paintings or music or be in that relationship type of thing, or you have this idea of what a relationship or friendship or certain interactions with your family look like, right? But again, with the wishing well card, with it being reversed, is you're standing at that fountain making that wish, but you're not throwing that into the penny, or that you're not throwing that penny into the fountain, right? You're not putting that coin down that well. You're holding on to it still. And I know that this is really tough. And this is to say this because this is something that I'm even working on, is letting that coin go and trusting in the universe that everything will work out as it's supposed to. That even though you made this poor choice, right? Or maybe you made a choice and you're like, I don't know if I made this the right choice type of thing. And not that it's a poor choice, but maybe you're regretting a choice that you made, or you need to make a choice. Again, you need to trust that, sounds so cliche, everything happens for a reason, right? Even if you made a choice that you regret, there's still something to learn from it. What did you learn from it? Was it about maybe you should be more authentic with yourself and maybe went with the original choice rather than just going with the other choice that makes you feel more comfortable and in charge of things because things are more within your domain and you can control it? Or, is it better for you to move forward with putting yourself out there? That's why, again, this general reading, I think some of you, it's about a relationship and some of you is about, like, again, getting that creative, authentic self out. Okay. So the past life cards that I got are biblical, Celtic, and vows. So biblical, Celtic, and vows. Okay. Is that you've had past lives involving both of these different belief systems, right? So maybe there's always been a part, what I love about past life stuff is maybe you've always been kind of intrigued and felt a calling or really connected to the Celtic belief system, or something that's always really interested you. And the same with biblical, maybe the stories and that, or you just kind of knew the stories or the passages and that within it. And for some of you, even, I get the sense that your soul is so old is that you may have even been involved in some of those biblical stories, which is really cool. But my point is, what I'm getting then is with this vow card, is that in both of those past lives is that you made a vow to yourself to not put yourself out there because you essentially got hurt. And the reason I say that you got hurt is because of this justice card, is that justice was dealt out within those past lives and those beliefs. Like maybe you were unfortunately killed or something like that because of your belief. And therefore, when you were passing away, you made that vow that you weren't going to put yourself out there again because, heaven forbid, you're not your true authentic self during those times because you were essentially killed or martyred or whatever that might be, chastised, shunned, because you couldn't be your authentic self. The important thing to take away from this is you need to break this vow that you told yourself when you were passing away from both of those past lives. So this is very strong in the fact that if you have this, that's why your fear spirals so out of control, right? Like it is nerve-wracking in that to put yourself out there or to speak your truth and that, like a lot of people get nervous about it. but it's like you take it to the nth degree type of thing, right? You take it and you don't mean to, it's just you go there. And the reason why it's you automatically go there to the nth degree, and it's so ingrained in you, even though you're like, this isn't rational. Maybe that's part of it. This isn't rational, right? Anybody would be able to see like that I'd be okay, or that, yeah, this doesn't always happen. But you made that vow to yourself, like, I am never putting myself out there again because I do not want to get chastised, crucified, anything like that. I don't want to be pushed away by the people that I love, or because I'm being my authentic self. That is what that is. That's really deep, and that's really hard to work through. I don't, and how do you do that? I don't want to, okay, so how do you do that? Hence why they told me to wait for this, okay? Perfect timing. That's why they wanted me to save it for the end. Okay, so how do you let go of this vow that you made in these past lives, right? So that way you're not, you can calm your brain down, calm those thoughts down, calm that feeling down. This is what I wrote. I kid you not. I wrote this before I even pulled these cards, before I did this reading. Don't carry the pain forward. It is time for you to let it go. How do you say? And it's like, I saw placing your hands over your heart and going within your heart chakra. If some of you are familiar with chakras and like balancing and clearing that energy. So not only clear it for this lifetime, but for this past lifetime as well, okay? And talking to your higher self or your inner child. So like really comfort and forgive, love. So the image that I had got when I was writing that is, I saw some of you like to put your hands over your heart like this and just really have that authentic conversation with yourself. It might, if you don't do that, it might feel very weird and odd at first, but it's a way for you to kind of talk and work through some of this fear and realize, hopefully on some level, that that vow that you made yourself was that from a past life. Like if this were me and I was going through this, I'd be like, you know, say your name then and be like, it is okay for me to put myself out there. It is safe for me to put myself out there. That past life no longer affects me. I break the vow that I made to myself that I will not put myself out there because I deserve happiness. You deserve this happiness. You deserve to have this right side up. You deserve to have those wishes come true. You deserve to have this light journey. I deserve that happiness. I am confident in the choices that I make, knowing that others around me will love me no matter what. And those that don't were never meant to be in my life in the first place. Or they were, and they now serve their purpose. And I let you go. You guys might get, it's like I'm trying to tune into it and trying to give you the right words to say. And it's like, I want to say, it's like, I almost want to come to tears. And I would say for you is that if you get emotional, that's okay. Because again, it's about expressing that emotion and taking that action to bring about that balance. So if you end up crying or yelling or getting angry or expressing yourself, speaking your truth, just even to yourself or your angels, your spirit guides, God, source, universe, whatever you might believe in, that again, you might become emotional, and that is okay, because this is some heavy stuff that you have carried over lifetimes, or it's very ingrained from especially these 2 lifetimes. Something that happened back in biblical times and something that happened back in a Celtic life, where you were being your true authentic self, and you were essentially swatted on the hand for doing that. And you took that very, very personal and made that vow to yourself that you would never do that again. And you've had lots of lifetimes where you made sure that you didn't live up to that. And this is your life lesson. And it's time for you to let it go. Because, again, you deserve that happiness in this life. All right? That is all I have. If you want something more like in-depth, more personalized or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. I am doing personal readings as well. All right. Blessed be. Good luck, you guys. Love ya.